Okay, this is The Freaky Origin of the Limbless Anime Girl, Ballad or History by Frankie Faye. Let's lock in, chat. Let's fucking lock in.
YouTuber had to use the bathroom.
Whoa, I feel like I'm going blank. I feel like I'm going blank.
Girl whose arms, legs, teeth, and
Have you guys seen this image? I don't know. A bit louder. Okay. A bit louder. Better?
eyes were torn from her body.
Her
In
arms are
2009,
torn from
an
her
artist took
body?
up the task of drawing anime girls in the most horrific scenarios.
Do you guys remember this thing? Is it weird? I kind of want to get art of myself on the animation. But I'm like, that's kind of weird. Not that what's wrong with this. Kind of cool, right?
You could possibly dream up.
Wait, hold up. You already watched this one? Wait, you watched
whose
this?
roots go back to pre-war Japan. A fetish subcategory responsible for tens of thousands of images of anime broads being torn to shreds for adult purposes.
Bro, they're
So
doing
how
we're
could
doing
there
a limb
possibly be an
removal.
audience for this stuff? Who is commissioning it? And
Remember
what's
the bad
actual
influences?
story
True.
behind
This
this
probably
meme?
isn't the
This is
greatest
a case
video
of
for me to
girls,
start with.
gore, and anime porn. This is the bizarre
Anime
origin
corn.
of the limbless anime girl.
Well, okay, they're acting like a limbless anime girl is like something crazy though. She just got no limbs, you know. Or
Today's
eyes.
bad art history, the quadriplegic anime girl from 2009, old people who get it on, and the weird underbelly of Japanese image board.
What? Old people who get it on. How are they
Before
gonna
we
link
begin,
old
I
people
have
getting it
launched
on
a
in this?
Patreon, so this meme has been making the rounds on Instagram and
Yeah,
Twitter,
I've seen
which
this
may
image
be
a lot. I
wondering,
thought
why
this
does
came
this
from.
illustration
I thought
exist?
that image originally came from a visual novel. Isn't there that one visual novel where all the girls are like they have some sort of disability or something? That could be something else though. I wanted to play it though. It seemed kind of wholesome. I've never seen that really. I think it's a well-known name. A lot of people on the internet know it.
And why is she fucked
You
up?
love that
the
visual
real answer
novel?
to that question actually comes from the underground art scene in 1930s Tokyo. But before we can even touch that, a quick
I
timeline.
love really
2009,
weird
digital
niche
artist
internet
S. Seneth
history.
Lee uploaded this artwork to the Japanese image board
They're on
Boorus. And what
Boorus.
probably jumps out at you is the
Boorus.
sheer despair
Boorus is like the
radiating
safe
off this
version of
image. Even the
Boorus.
website itself has it tagged as soul-crushingly depressing. And the comments reflect this, speculating on what, if anything,
I hope
could
one
be
day
done to
my
give
art
this
can be
girl some
posted.
semblance
I hope one day my art can be posted on Danbaru, and they're gonna give me the tag. What was it? Soul crushingly depressing.
crushingly depressing. And the comments reflect this,
crazy.
speculating on what, if anything, could be done to give this girl some semblance of a normal
my
life. But what you
God.
don't know
There's
is that this is
nothing. They
actually
turned her
a
into a
part two
chicken
to a
nugget.
previous illustration in which she is taken and brutally rearranged but kept alive. And though we'll come back to that artwork
That's horrible. I didn't
in
know there was
detail,
another part to
trust
it.
me, the long and short of it is that this
That's the
anime
tag
girl
of
has
all
been separated
time,
from
for
her
sure.
eyes, ears, teeth, mouth, and limbs. And as the artist
Is her... Wait... In the image, is her teeth in the fucking jar? Her teeth in...
brutally rearranged but kept alive. And though we'll come back to that artwork in detail, trust me, the long and short of it is that this anime girl has been separated from her eyes, ears, teeth, mouth,
Holy
and limbs.
fuck,
And as the
that's
artist
brutal.
explains, a while ago there was a local girl who was hit by a truck and ended up
Oh, we're getting a background story? She got hit by a truck?
losing both her legs and one arm. Visiting victims with this kind of injuries would be pretty awkward, since my cynical self thinks that
Awkward, you're missing your limbs? Yikes, this is gonna I gotta go. That's so fucked up.
telling her get well soon would be a little pointless. I wanted to draw a pic with this theme for
Get well soon would be pointless. Oh, that's dark.
quite some time.
That's
The last
spooky.
pic inspired me to draw this as a continuation. I kid myself that I used up all the blood in the last picture. That's why this one is so clean. But in spite of its shocking nature, this illustration lived in relative obscurity on the Japanese internet, only appearing on several small blogs
I
before
guess it
it made
wasn't
its
from a
first
visual
real mark
novel, it was
on
just an art piece.
SafeBoru. SafeBoru is one of numerous Boru-type sites whose stated
I never
purpose
heard
is
of
only to
SafeBoru.
repost the safe for work images from Boru.
I
And
should
just to be clear,
use that. I
SafeBoru
go
had
to Danbaru all the time for like art references because I don't want to go to Galbaru because it's all sassy stuff. I didn't know there was a safe for work site. I always have to block out all the anime titties while I try and find something that's a good reference.
Had no business reposting this particular image, but repost they did. And in 2014, the limbless anime girl finally made her first appearance on the English web via 4chan. Interestingly, her very first appearance resembles the current meme, with an anon joking that waiting for a game to come out made him feel like he was languishing like the girl in the photo. And then, 2019, a Twitter user posted this image with the caption, went through 7 pages of a Don Boru fetish art account just to find this pic in high quality. And keep in mind that this person could immediately tell that this was fetish art. The limbless anime girl exploded in popularity, circulating as a reaction image.
How can they tell it's... I can't say the word. Fetch, doggy, fetch art. How can they tell it's that? But like ish, you know? How can they tell? Because it doesn't seem that freaky.
To new heights in
the boobs are censored, so I don't know.
When Instagram user Intellectual Incel Group posted the first known variation of today's meme.
Shit,
and I hardly have to explain the rest. The desperately sad nature of the image versus the minor inconvenience in the caption made for excellent shitposting.
Why? I don't think the biddies are out.
Material. And with the advent of AI, there's even a version where she gets her legs back. And
oh my gosh,
but
she
the
got
meme
them
itself
back!
Is hardly the most.
See, people say AI is bad. I think AI did good in the world. They gave her her limbs back. They unnuggied
most interesting part of this story, because that's where the common knowledge about it ends.
I like this
sure
girl's
what you're
frog
still wondering
hat.
is, okay, but like, why was this made? Yes, the artist explains his personal reasons, but really think about it, right? Why would an artist invest so much time and skill into mutilating a helpless anime broad? And more to the point, why is it so obvious to so many?
I love how she keeps calling the anime girls anime broads. The broads.
That this is fetish art.
I called her a nuggie. What's wrong with a nuggie? Boorus? What is boorus?
Before we can get into any of the truly freaky stuff, I threw quite a few words at you,
it's
so
not that crazy to say they unnuggied her. It's not that crazy, okay? It just makes sense.
Find them now. What are boorus? The word itself comes from the Japanese pronunciation of the word board, as in image board. Don Boru, launched in 2005, is among the most well-known Japanese image boards, with close to millions of art submissions, many of which are extremely explicit. And since making the source code publicly available, dozens if not hundreds of copycat boru sites with their own theme and specific audience have emerged. And in case you were wondering, yes, it's almost all Safe Boru, as mentioned before, is a Don Boru clone without any of the adult content. But clearly,
I never went to Safe Boru. Do you guys want to see what Safe Boru? I probably shouldn't. I'm gonna pull the tab out before I show you Safe Boru. Safe Boru. Let's see if it's actually what it's advertising to me. It is! Wait, this is actually kind of banger. Here, look. It's super zoomed in right now, but... I looked up vampires. They got a bunch of cute vampire girls without their titties and coochies out. Beast. Drew, search yourself on Safe Boru. There is going to be no Drew Lakuma. Drew Illa. Nothing. Nobody here but us chickens.
Submissions slip through the cracks. And as a quick aside, one look at the quadruple amputee tag on Safe.
Oh, why is there 97 things posted on quadruple amputee? Why would they do this? The thing is, the messed up thing is with like the really crazy art like that, you know it's always going to be like the craziest, most beautiful quality, and these artists are just using their powers for evil. Honestly, I would use my powers for evil too if I was evil.
Because while these artworks don't show anything, they are clearly adult in nature. The attention paid to showing off the cuteness and helplessness of these girls in combination.
Hatsune Miku! No, what did they do to you? Oh my god. Holy shit. How can the world be hers now? No way they got Miku. That's messed up. That's crazy. They got Miku. Oh no. Chat. You're gonna see me fit in. Okay. Locking back in. Lock back in. Oh wait, I saw her to say to another person, I can draw you pregnant, don't tempt me. I know, you can use your powers for evil. Bitch, you made me mad. Okay, guess who's getting empregged? She's gonna get cybernetic implants. That's so true. She's actually upgrading her body right now. That's what she's doing. She's getting an upgrade there, actually. She's gonna be stronger than ever before.
Combination with their limbless bodies is a very strange and obvious contrast. Back to boorus. One thing you ought to understand is that they have an incredibly detailed tagging system, which makes it very easy to search for something like, say, quadruple amputee anime girls with green hair being held by a grown man suspended over a Christmas tree. What I'm saying is, these sites make it incredibly easy to cater to extremely specific fetishes, and with extreme specificity comes extreme content. This brings us to a rather infamous website, Pixiv. Ero-Guro largely received a submission from Pixiv, an art-sharing website and Japan's answer to DeviantArt. However, unlike DeviantArt, Pixiv allows for a vast array of very explicit artwork. Many of the more gruesome anime shock images of the last 2 decades originated on Pixiv. And though it's very much still around, mounting pressure from advertisers have forced it to tighten up its policies. So between the sheer availability of violent hentai on Pixiv and the sea of boorus willing to cater extremely specific fetishes,
I've never once been on DeviantArt, and I don't plan on changing that. I don't want to look at the fucking inflation fart stuff, please, no. Bowberry is enough.
Comes Gurochan.cx, which may remind you of another highly educational website ending in...
What's Gurochan CX? Yeah, this looks like a board. Okay, I thought there was a website. I'm like, what the hell?
Though Gurochan functions less like a boru and more like a text-based site, kinda like 4chan, it nevertheless contains an exhaustive catalog of images and GIFs showing unimaginable scenes of anime girls being scrambled. And because the nature of this artwork
scrambling her like an egg!
makes it incredibly insular, a small but thriving community of Guro fetishists
Scrambled.
exists in this bubble. And the reason I'm telling you all this is so that it's abundantly clear that this drawing, whether it looks that way or not, was specifically intended to be fetish art. But even if you can't tell by looking at it, how come some people just know?
That's just my wholesome wife who got in a tragic accident. I'm taking care of her at the hospital. There's nothing freaky or weird about it. God. Maybe you're the weird one for thinking inappropriate about her.
Welcome to Anime 101. Warning for the entire rest of the video. As a smart and very handsome viewer who is also probably very tall, you may have picked up on my use of the word "go" instead of gore, and that's because "go" is very much its own thing.
It's erotica.
Known also as Ero-Guro or erotic-grotesque, is actually perfectly summarized on Urban Dictionary. It is a Japanese art form that focuses on the bizarre, grotesque, and alteration of one's body mixed with freaky stuff.
In the
West, hentai is often referred to as guro, especially if there is a heavily mutilated anime girl covered in blood, missing limbs, or spilling her insides. Often all three is present and the subject is no more. I'm sorry, that was literally like impossible to clean up for YouTube. Please consider subscribing to Patreon, and that way I don't have to censor every third word. Guro as a term originated from the phrase Ero-Guro nonsense.
She can't say any of these words. This is all just bleeped out.
Nonsense in Taisho era. This was the name of a counterculture movement among artists who sought to
What is that? What is that? Is that meant to be a person? It's not meant to be a person, right? It's a mummy? Why is there a hat? Why is his hat a Jewish hat? Why is it a tapeworm? Jewish mummy? Okay, back to it.
Intentionally make subversive and highly offensive art, kind of like a spiritual sibling to Weimar Germany. And few things are more immediately
It's not a Jewish hat, it's an old school hat. Oh, I'm sorry, he was an old school mummy, not a Jewish mummy.
offensive to the average person than the combination of jork in it and gore. This movement was not long-lived whatsoever, coming under heavy scrutiny by the government and society at large. But much like the other great-granddaddy of hentai, Ero-Guro's influence has persisted ever since. And just to put into perspective how influential—
Oh my, tentacles. Get off of me, no!
this movement was, Wikipedia cites it as a foundational influence on the development of this. By 1936, however, with the war effort heating up and fewer resources available for creative
you can't
pursuits,
stop me.
the Ero-Guro nonsense movement was
What are you
slowly
gonna do to
winding
stop me
down,
from getting
and its
tentacles?
swan song would come in the form of the Sada
Bro, would come. Sorry.
Abe incident, highly publicized affair in which adult worker Sada Abe ended her lover, jorked his weenus right off his body, and carried it around with her in her kimono as a keepsake.
What? How did we get here? So some lady. Okay, I'm done with my husband. I'm not feeling the love anymore. You know what? I don't want to forget him. I always want a piece of him with me. Honey, do you want to do something special? Chop! And then she stores in her kimono. Wouldn't it rot? Wouldn't it shrivel? That would be nasty. Just keep it in a jar with her? Maybe it's in like a little necklace?
Artists and society at large was captivated by the symbolic quality of this crime, inspiring a final wave of grotesque artwork and literature immortalizing her story. But between the war effort and the moral panic about hot women coming to end you, the movement lost momentum for good. But to connect this back to the limbless anime girl, how can you look at this and just know that it's adult in nature? Think about the voyeuristic quality of the image. Whose perspective are we seeing this from? Why did the artist choose to make her chest visible? In fact, why did he choose for her to still have her chest at all? Why is she posed in such a way as to make fully visible the extent of all her injuries? And why does she still nevertheless have the cuteness and polish of a generic anime girl? Put all together, these are pretty direct tells that this art is not just for art's sake. It's fulfilling a very particular function. And knowing all this, the only thing truly left unanswered is what is the appeal of this fetish for people who like it? While my aim here is never to pass judgment, I strongly believe that not all fetishes are created equal. And something whose premise is so violent and which necessarily requires another person to suffer probably warrants a closer look. As this Redditor explains,
no stupid questions.
Bliss kept in inches. In real life, this stuff is completely unarousing, but here, things are exaggerated, unrealistic, and no real people actually get hurt. There's a divide between fiction and reality, the extreme but logical extension of BDSM. It could be that some wires got crossed in our brains or something. We don't have a reason, exactly, for enjoying it.
I just kind of like it.
It could be that we got desensitized to regular stuff and turned to more extreme stuff because we couldn't use...
That's the thing. I really do not like cornfieldsography. Because I feel like it rots your mind. It gets you so desensitized to these things. So even if you're in a real life relationship, nothing does it for you anymore. You need extremes. You need crazy stuff. You need such sick stuff that rots your mind and will ruin your life. So yeah, don't become a corn addict. Too much corn is bad for you. You know the government artificially made corn. Corn's not a vegetable. That's fucked. What? How?
The normal stuff anymore. And as many point out, it can be a scary but controlled way to approach trauma. I'm not personally convinced that this kind of weird loving reverence explains the
real talk. I feel like people, there's always the thing how your childhood experiences and trauma shape your inappropriate choices, the things you're drawn towards. Is that a healthy way of coping? I feel like that would be more... Maybe it's not coping. Maybe it's just a side effects of trauma. But I feel like that would make it worse. You're indulging in negativity. I don't know. I feel like that's not a valid excuse. I think you shouldn't... I don't know. Could be the reason they like it, but definitely isn't helping them. If it is from trauma, it's just kind of sad then.
Average Gurochan user, but at the end of the day, the brain is a
Some get their taste from trauma. Well, look at any woman with daddy issues. Hi. We're all the same. We're all the same. There's definitely a link between your childhood shit and the stuff you're into, which is kind of weird. Maybe what was that guy? You know, the guy who's like, you want to freak your mom? Maybe he was onto something. Maybe you want to freak your mom. No, please don't do that. It's weird. No more Christian! No, we're subject to Chris Chan. No, we're not going back to that.
Fascinating place.
Oh, I
and
cracked
whose
my neck.
brain could be more useful when it comes to explaining all of this than that of the artist himself?
The artist himself explained it. What is he gonna say?
So to come way back to the
I love her amputated body.
Hospital Girl. Let's remember that this was a sequel
Hospital Girl.
artwork to a piece that was actually uploaded a
yeah,
few months
the first
prior
one.
in July of 2009. And for the sake of brevity, the original
Brevity?
artwork depicts the perspective of a really bad guy as he sits across the
Bad
table
guy.
from the anime girl who at this point resembles a raw skirt
Don't
steak. And this
hurt
same
her.
girl is the one pictured recovering in the hospital. And what's coolest of all is that S. Zenith Lee is actually pretty open about why he likes this stuff. On his old blog,
He's
he
open.
wrote,
I wonder
I
what he said.
consider this one of the most horrible scenes I've ever drawn. I never understand why some sicko would send taunting letters to the family. Zodiac comes to mind. Scans of his letters always give me the creeps. I recently read a
God.
novel called Goth by Otsuichi, in which the harm went even further by sending tape recordings and parts of the victim to her sister.
Is this a manga? Is it messed up if I ask for the source? It seems like a cool psychological. Oh, what's the name of it? It was called Goth. Not necessarily healthy, but people both want to have control over the issues rather than having their minds punch it into them every once in a while. It sort of got molded around it, so there's no leaving it in the past forever. Or you just go to therapy. You just go to therapy.
Tape recordings and parts of the victim to her
Parts
sister.
of the victim.
Maybe
to
that's the
sister is
reason why I
crazy.
woke up to a nightmare of this scene a few nights ago. The very next conscious thought of mine
So-
is, of course, I gotta draw this down.
I gotta draw this down. I feel that's not what I expected. I feel like with the extreme art, you expect the people who make it to be such sick fucks. Here's the thing with like fetches that are issues. I feel like. Okay, I lost my train of thought. No, we're getting back. I feel like they seem so crazy from the outside, and I think the people who have them probably once thought that stuff is crazy too. But you go down a path, and then you just desensitize yourself more and more till you're at the place there. You're like, how did I even get here? And it's normalized to you. So I feel like it's just a pipeline, and people who don't get it won't get it until they're there.
It's not clear how much fulfillment Zenith gets from
Fulfilled
creating
it.
these artworks. He's pretty cavalier about his interest in exploring suffering from the perspective of the aggressor and the victim. And while it would be fascinating to get his insight onto the hospital girl as a meme, his last online activity was an illustration uploaded in 2020. He left
that
behind a
wasn't that long ago.
sizable gallery of incredible, though very
What is that? I'm not zooming in.
explicit artwork, and his digital footprint
Ah!
is not known.
Kiss the cook.
What am I looking at? What am I looking at? What? It looks like the annoying orange! Oh my god! Hey Apple, hey Apple, hey Apple! Remember that one time? Wait, is that annoying orange in the background?
I didn't even notice him. I just saw the pumpkin. Is this annoying orange art? What?
I feel like we're focusing so heavy on the amputee art. I feel like this is far stranger than that. I feel like that one, like, okay, yeah, whatever, it's good. But,
Huh? Why are they making annoying orange cornfields?
The only real speculation can be found in this comic,
No.
suggesting that his deteriorating health led to his absence. But to be clear, nobody knows.
nobody
The
knows.
limbless anime girl is far and away one of the best examples we have
Like
of what
Frankenfriend?
happens when
What's a
fetish art
Frankenfriend?
reaches a completely unexpected audience and gets taken fully out of context. She was intense and grim, but just
It isn't a human, so we don't have to emphasize empathy with it anymore. No, honestly, I feel worse for the pumpkin. He's getting his guts pulled out? That's messed up.
express very real feelings.
She
during
had
the
a
current
3-month
meme era of
situationship.
post-ironic
Happens to the
detachment.
best
And
of us.
unlike the vast majority of fetish art that gets removed from context and put into memes,
Shawnable!
many people were able to look at this and immediately clock it for
Shawnable.
what it was. And objectively speaking, is it strange that you can reasonably expect to see fetish art every time you log on? Yes. But that's that's the internet. And I cannot end this video on a pun this week because I genuinely think that making fun of someone who lost all 4 of her arms and legs sucks.
Yeah, it's kind of
This
messed
has
up.
been
Poor girl.
Bad art history.
Cool video. Base video. I also watched this one on my own. This one was a field day. Maybe we can watch this one at some point. This girl has nice lip gloss. I know. I was looking at that. They look juicy as hell. She has a mind all nice. She's pretty. I give her a big old smooch.